Hello, it's me, Tiffany, and I wanted to make another video, kind of like my other one I did a couple weeks ago, like recapping how the week went and then answering some questions. And this will be like a multiple part series um, titled Suffering is Never for Nothing, which is the title to that book I read. And I'm now currently, I listened to it first and I'm currently rereading it in the book version. Book by Elizabeth Elliot. It's been really encouraging and really timely for me right now. But first I just want to kind of recap this last couple weeks went. So, I had my chemo almost 3 weeks ago exactly. Now I have my next one soon. And you can watch my chemo recap, my second chemo, for like all the side effects. But after that, I really did handle this one a lot better. And things are pretty normal. Like this week was a busy week. Like a very normal week that I would normally have even if I wasn't doing chemotherapy. And to me, that's feeling normal and doing normal mom things is a really encouraging thing. I just feel so good. So like I personally had a doctor appointment on Monday, and then on Tuesday I took Abigail for her 2-month doctor appointment. And that's one where they get some vaccinations, and so she got some shots. She handled it so well. Like she didn't really, she cried obviously, but like compared to how Charlotte did a couple years ago after her first vaccination, she's like an easier baby, all around. And so and I did have to take Abigail all by myself on Tuesday to the doctor because of COVID regulations. They weren't allowing a second parent for this visit. And so I was able to take her and do all that, and that felt really good. And then let's see, I did something on Wednesday. I don't remember now, but oh yeah, I did a play date on Tuesday before I took Abigail to the doctor at my friend Jessica's house. And then it was a really nice week, did a lot of outside playtime. And then on Friday, Charlotte had a doctor appointment. She had her 2.5-year wellness visit and no vaccinations for her. But I dropped Abigail off because I think it would be difficult to bring her, like both kids, to the doctor by myself right now. And they weren't allowing it. So I dropped Abigail off to be watched, be babysat, and then I took Charlotte and we made a whole day of it. I just got a lot of good mommy and daughter time with her. My time has been split ever since we had our second baby, and so it really was just like old school fun to go out and take her and do something. And I completely spoiled her. We took her to the doctor, and then her doctor's office is in Plymouth, and we walked past a candy shop on our way, and it was closed, but I knew they'd be open when we were done. So when we left, and she looked through the window at these giant chocolate bunnies, and it's Easter time, and so they had a display set up with tons of jelly beans. And so after her doctor appointment went well. She's super healthy, everything's going well. We went back to the candy shop and they're open, and I let her pick out some things. She got some gummy butterflies, I think, and some chocolates, and she just absolutely loved it. And she on the way out, she tried to grab the jelly beans that were in the display. I'm like, no, we can't touch those. They're just open in a big window display. Kind of gross. And then afterwards, I took her to buy a toy, and she picked out, it's actually right here, I'll show you, this Melissa and Doug salon set. It's right there, you can see it. And it was a little more expensive than I wanted to spend, but I was just hoping it was on sale, because a lot of times they are, but it wasn't. But she absolutely loved it. And then I picked up a couple groceries. I had an Aldi pickup order. And we went to A&W and sat outside, and she had a hamburger and fries and got ice cream. And so really I just, I haven't done something like that. Never with the toy and the candy especially. But I haven't even just taken her out in a while, just us two. And so it just was really nice. I know she liked it. She kept saying it was our date. And I was just so proud of her too for doing so well at the doctor, and just being so sweet and so good. She's been doing so good with all the adjustments and everything going on. And so that was what we did this week. Another thing, a new little tradition that Paul and I've kind of started, is the Sunday before my chemo infusion week. So you know, my chemo's on Tuesday, so the Sunday before, we've been dropping the girls off for a couple hours and then going for like, call it brunch, but it's really breakfast because it's like super early, but going for brunch early in the morning. And so we've been going to a place in Belleville. This catering company called Angel Food has been doing brunches on Sundays in this big banquet hall, and when we go at like 9 a.m. there's like nobody there. And so you know, for COVID reasons, we just like kind of feel kind of safe. But this time we did try a different restaurant in Canton called First Watch and got breakfast there, and they actually sat us, which was kind of cool, in like this glass box that's like usually it's like part of the outside. They had like a garage door that closed it off, but we were in there alone for the majority of our meal, which was nice. It was just really loud and kind of cold because it was cold on Sunday, and so that was nice. And Paul and I both just really look forward to our brunch dates, especially because we don't really eat out very much, and so it's just super nice. Let me think what else. Things that have been encouraging in general, and people, my church has been really extra encouraging. Just got like flooded with notes and gifts right around Easter, and like little things dropped off at our door, and just like surprises, and that was really wonderful. I mentioned before, but my church family is just so supportive right now and very encouraging, all of the generations, and definitely miss being there and hope that we can get back to normal soon. Also had some friends over for a girls' Bible study this week. That was really nice. We're studying the book of Habakkuk, and we're like just in like there's just like a quick 3-week study, but just getting everyone together and like doing that, which we've done like in the past, like every once in a while. It's not super something we do like super often because we all have kids and work and, you know, a lot going on, but it is nice to get together and do that. So the next thing I want to talk about is just like some of my spiritual growth that I've been experiencing like through this trial and through this suffering, and just some things that like God has opened up my mind to. And one of the big concepts I was having a hard time with for a while, and I talked to my sister-in-law about this a little bit, but it just was something that was like bugging me. You know, I have been sick like dealing with this cancer like since June of last year. Right now it's April, and so like in June of last year, like, you know, I dealt with it, and if you watch my diagnostic video, you'll like kind of understand, because I thought it went away. But you know, like back then, like I was willing to like accept support and encouragement, and like, okay, you know, I'm gonna let people love on me, and like I needed it and loved it and wanted it. But then when I got, you know, then I yeah, you need to watch that video, but like I was good, and then I thought everything was taken care of, and then when the cancer came back, or this new cancer, I just had like a little bit of a hard time, like, oh my goodness, like we've already got our love and support. I like feel bad that people are like still bringing us meals or still dropping off cards, and like the fact that what I'm getting point to is like being ministered to, and I didn't have like a bad attitude for it. Like I wanted it and loved it, but I just like felt bad that people like still had to like keep, like, how long can you have to like support someone? I don't want to be like a burden on anyone, or people like feel like they have to do something, even though I know they all love me and want to do it. But okay, what I'm getting to is that it's been hard to only be ministered to and not being able to like return and like be an encouragement to other people, or like minister to other people. And like, you know, I can do that in some ways, but I have not like been involved in ministry at my church in a really long time. I feel like, you know, we were like super involved, and you know, doing good works and ministering is wonderful and I love it, but that's not gonna like it doesn't make me a better person. I'm just like, side note here, and it doesn't get me to heaven, and I know that, and that's not at all like where I'm going with this. It's just that it's like a love language, you know, like helping out, and it's like a job that I love to do. And so like I've been involved in the kids ministry very much. We switched directions, and we were involved more with the teens, but you know, Paul's doing more of the teaching, and then I had to like stop going because I was pregnant and sick, and then now we're not just like going at all. And there's just like lots of other opportunities and ministries that we would probably be involved with that we're not doing right now. And in general, it's just like really hard for me to accept, and hard for me. I just miss it because I love it. And I was like explaining this to my sister-in-law, and like she told me, she's like, well, you are ministering like through this trial and through this suffering, you know, you're an encouragement to other people and everyone, like it's like so wonderful, you're ministering to people, like seeing you be faithful. And I get that, but I just, it's just like still hard to internalize that, or I just like don't see a lot of people, so like this is my platform to do that, and that's also something I'm getting at. I'm gonna read a verse here that I came across yesterday in Matthew, doing a devotion. So one of the other devotions I do is, and a friend gave this to me who she also went through cancer, different type of cancer, a couple years ago, and she said this book was really encouraging to her, and she sent it to me, and it's this Streams in the Desert, and it's like 366 devotional readings, and it's like all geared towards like trials and suffering and like hard times. And you know, like even if I wasn't going through the cancer, like this is still a wonderful devotion. But yesterday's devotion pointed out Matthew 10:27, and it says, for what I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. And this was Jesus talking to his disciples and like instructing them. And that like just, and then like the devotion went on to talk about how like when you're in like trials, or you feel useless because of like, it like specifically said like a sickness, and you feel secluded and alone, and like you can't do the things you normally do, but God is still speaking to you. You do have a according to this verse, you do have a can't think of that word, responsibility to like share that. And so it kind of just helped me like make this video and continue with my videos, and I'm hoping that it's like encouraging to people. It's helpful and encouraging to me, I know, like sharing what's going on. But you know, also the devotion pointed out like when Moses, like it wasn't wasted time when Moses went to the mountains, it wasn't wasted time when Elijah was on Mount Horeb, it wasn't wasted time when like Paul was in prison and like going like away and secluded and alone. Like God spoke to them in those times, and then like their responsibility was like to share it with others. And again, it was just like really impactful on me. It says it may be the darkness of a home where bereavement has drawn the blinds, the darkness of a lonely and desolate life in which some illness has cut you off from light and the activity of life. Oh, that so describes what I'm going through right now. We are to speak and proclaim what we have learned during these times. And again, I just feel like so close to God, and God is like, I'm relying on him so much every single day, and he's like teaching me things personally. And so like I do have like a responsibility to like share it with others and like share how God has helped me. And anyways, yes, so that was just like wonderful. And another thing God is working on me on is like making, like I feel like there could be an opportunity for me to be like ignore my sin during this time. You know, think, you know, it's okay that I'm like really ungrateful about this particular thing because I'm sick and I'm going through chemotherapy, so like everyone will understand if I'm like bitter. No, like bitterness and ungratefulness are sin and things that, you know, we shouldn't dwell on. And even if I'm sick, it doesn't give me excuse. I have to like make sure like that is like taken, I have to make sure that's not in my life and repent of it if it is in my life. And God is just working on me like that, like about like my attitude and things, that I can't just ignore my sin just because I'm going through a trial. And it's just something that I'm like aware of and making sure like in my prayer life and my devotion life, and I'm like focusing on and making sure I'm repentant of, because I don't want those things to like build up and become a problem later on. And so God just like showed me that there's no excuse for my sin, and there's no excuse for like just because I'm sick to allow these things to like take place. And then another thing, last thing, is in general is about, this was a hard one. Actually, I'm going to read the verse first. So this is 1 Peter 4, verse is 12 and 13. It says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing has happened. Like I shouldn't be like, why is this strange like trial coming my way, but rejoice. Ooh, that was it. In so much as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So this, when I like came across this, I like realized like even in the midst of, for right now, the most suffering I have experienced in my life, and it's getting better. I'm like really, I am doing okay, but it is still really difficult. I need to be thankful, and I need to specifically be thankful for this time in my life. And like when I like realized that, I immediately got on my knees and like it was hard, but like thanked God for this trial. And and then I was reading later, or actually this is when I was listening to the Suffering is Never for Nothing book, talking about, she was talking about how we need, like Christians should like be very different. Elizabeth Elliot, the author, was talking about how Christians should be different when they go through like trials and suffering in their life, and she's talking about the ways that they should be different, and one of them was like gratitude and thankfulness. And it's hard to be thankful. Like how can I say, Lord, you know, thank you for allowing me to have cancer, but it's not like that specifically. It's more like thank you for this trial in my life because it's showing me things and you're speaking to me through it, and I'm like relying on you more than I ever have in my life, and like I'm exercising my faith. And so I've been like trying to like find ways to be like thankful through this hard time in our life right now. Let me think what else. Oh yeah, just one other quick note is just the fact that one thing that I am thankful for is when I do feel good. And like, you know, even if I wasn't going through chemotherapy and had cancer and have to do surgery and everything else this year, this is just a difficult time in my life, you know, transitioning from one kid to two kids. And so when I like feel normal, like right now, and I'm struggling through the normal like motherhood stuff and the like just the change of everything, like with dealing with two kids and like time change and splitting my time and like the extra, you know how it is if you have more than one kid. It's just a transition. I'm thankful that I can just like do the normal mom thing and like figure this out. Like I feel like I have like a more of a thankful heart, and like I'm handling it better because I'm just so thankful that I'm feeling okay to like figure it out. And it's still difficult, I will say, but I am just thankful that like I do have really good days where I feel like 100% Tiffany, and I can just have feel like a normal struggling mom. Okay, so that's it. I hope this was encouraging. If it was, if you could leave a comment or, you know, send me a text, let me know your thoughts. Again, thank you everyone who has reached out and has been praying for us. We appreciate it and we need it. And I have a next chemo coming up and I'll be halfway done. I'm so excited to be halfway done. I'm not looking forward to Tuesday, but it will be nice to kind of have time pass, I guess you'd say. So thanks everyone.